Why? That's what it means, to take care of its physical needs. If you cannot even be responsible for providing for the food and daily discipline of taking care, walking that animal or thing, then you might want to ask yourself, are you really prepared to be a lover who can nurture? Are you taking care of anything or anyone? And if you are a lady being pursued by a gentleman and you see them, take a look at the things they like, their hobbies that they pursue. Maybe they do have pets, maybe they have a bike or a car or something that they take care of. You watch and see how well they take care of that thing, even as they're passionate for it. Kung sablay, you might want to think again. Here's another area, very important for men. How are your relationships with the women in your life? My father, when I was going through the courtship stage, very in my secret age, I will not tell you, he gave me advice. He said, when you look for a woman, and he told my sisters, when you look for a man, you watch how that man treats the women in his life. His sisters, his mother, his lola, or even the household help. Kung bastos siya, you can most likely expect what will he be towards you. Are you following me? That's what it means. How are the relationships that you as a gentleman right now, single man, are nurturing with the women around you? Are you respectful? Do you treat them like ladies? Or not? That's the idea. That's the line of questioning. You know, my son, we usually, as a family, we'll go around and speak, and I have a son who comes with me, and he talks about the idea of being a gentleman. In our home, one of the things I like to instill of my three sons is the idea of being a gentleman. Old school gentleman. For example, when there are women going into an elevator, kung nag-MRT kayo or jeepney or whatever public transportation, pag nakita nyo unahan na, anong iisipin nyo? Naku, late na ako sa office, dapat ako sa security bank. Or will you say, no, there's a lady, let them go ahead first. Lahat na sila, late na ako. You know what I'm saying? As you go out of this meeting later, and it's time for lunch, tingnan natin, sino mga gentlemen. My sons, they do their best. The three of them, when they first learned that, kasi mga nako, competitive tulad ng tatay nila. Nako, when my wife will go out to the elevator, we used to live in a condo, when my wife would open the door and go to the elevator, mag-uunahan sila, be first, be first, be first. Babagaan sila ngayon. Oh, me. Para sila sabihin ng wife, my wife will say, wow, what good gentleman. Lahat sila, yeah. That's the idea. Gentlemen, how are you with the women in your life? Are you gentlemanly that way? Old school gentleman etiquette, in case you didn't know. When you're in a dining table and a woman is about to enter and sit at the table, a gentleman will stand and wait till the lady sits. And if it is a lady that you brought on a date, maybe even your wife, you will pull out the chair and have the lady sit. Huwag niyo huhugutin dahil galit kayo. Alright? Gentlemen, that's the idea here. As a single man, think, how are your relationships with the women in your life? Are you a gentleman? Even in the old school way. For the marrieds, here are questions you can ask. Since our goal is to be the right husband, to be the right man. Questions for us. Are we nurturing, taking care of the financial, emotional, physical, and spiritual needs of our wife to help them blossom? When I was about to get married, the former president of Del Monte, which is a company I worked for, was a mentor. And he was the one that actually married my wife and I. He loved God, he's a follower of God. Before I married my wife, he sat me down and he said, Edric, are you ready to be a gardener? Huh? Sa Del Monte po? And he said, are you ready to be a gardener? You know why? Consider it a compliment if every time we see each other or people see you and they will say, wow, your wife is blooming. That's because you are a good gardener. Sa mga married, raise your hand, married men. Look at the married man near you and say, be a good gardener. That's the idea. Are we able to take care of the financial, emotional, physical, spiritual needs? Minsan kailangan ng spa, sige, mag-spa kayo yan. Alright, take care of yourself. You treat them nice so that they might bloom. Nurture. And if they do, credit to you. If they don't, lagot tayo. That's the idea. Are we taking care of these basic needs of our spouse? Free money tip. I know this is a bank, I'm sure you've covered this, but one of the things we've seen in marriage that helps to dispel money issues, when you as a gentleman are looking at the financial needs of your spouse and the family, my suggestion, you assign a CEO and a CFO. The CEO makes the final decision on major purchases and even medium-sized purchases. Alright? CEO, senior. And then the CFO will handle the money. Holds the money, will make the transactions, right? Once you distinguish that, whoever the CFO is, for example, if your wife is the CFO, right? Si Mrs. ang CFO, the wife must give the husband a fund. Itong amount na to every month, bahala ka. If the husband in our family, I am the CFO, I'm also the CEO. So in our home, I will give my wife a fund. Honey, you can do whatever you want with this amount every month. Why? With that money, she can now take care of her physical needs, emotional, financial, right? That is a practical way of preventing issues. What is the amount of the fund? Huwag yung pag-awayan. Discuss what makes sense and then sell that. Alright, so question, are you taking care of the financial, emotional, physical, spiritual needs of your wife? Now, here's the more tricky part for us married men. Does your wife feel loved? Does your wife feel, Edric, feeling, hindi ako magaling sa feeling. Hindi ko nahahawakan yan, hindi ko nakikita yan. Paano ba yung feeling na yan? How many of you have heard of the 5 love languages? Raise your hands. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to take a look at this very quickly for the men. How do I make my wife feel loved so that she knows it, and I know that she knows it? I'm going to give you a tip from Gary Chapman. It's called the 5 Love Languages. You can actually take the test online. That's the website. It's free, and you can determine what it is. In the meantime, we will do a quick survey. How many of you, when somebody embraces you, a loved one embraces you, spouse, husband, wife, children, maybe a friend, family member, when they embrace you or hug you or put their arm around you, you feel love, raise your hands. That is touch. Okay. How many of you, okay, gusto ko yung touch, pero the reality is, when my spouse or when my family member or when my children will spend time with me, that's how I feel love. Raise your hand. Ayan. Kayo po ay mga time people, right? Time. What about those that are here saying, you know, okay yung time, okay yung hug, pero hindi ako masyadong touchy-feely. I come from a very conservative, like my relatives, no, very maybe conservative Chinese family. We don't really, you know, express much. I'm part Chinese, by the way. Instead, words. I like it when you say, hey, you look good today. Oh, okay, you look good. You worked very hard. I'm proud of you. Wow, okay, I like that. How many of you feel love through words? Raise your hands. Oh, konti lang. Words, all right, words. And then, there is, well, you know what? Actually, when somebody I care about does something for me. Massage. Oh, yung sakit na ng massage. Or, you know what? Sige, ako na yung gagawa para sa'yo. You know what? Kailangan mo ng kape. Bibigyan kita ng kape. Wow, service. How many of you like service as your love language? Raise your hands. Service. So most of the people here are time and touch. So I will finish fast or finish long. Ano ba gusto nyo? Time. Touch. Last one is, actually, you know what? You don't have to hug me, you don't have to tell me, you don't have to spend time with me. Gusto ko bagong Rolex. Show me the money. Or it could be something, wow, binigyan ako ng bulaklak. Bulok na, pero binigyan pa rin ako. Yan. Gifts. How many of you are gifts people? Raise your hands. Wow, right? Consistent. In the Philippines so far, very few gifts. Touch and time. Because your love language is touch and time, look at the person beside you with the most sincere expression and say, you look good. Words yun Words yun. I was testing you. Look at them and say, You look good. Yeah, nice tap him in the back. All right, so these are the 5 love languages. For the men, ask yourself, what is your love language? How do you feel loved? Your spouse, for the married men, how does your spouse feel? I Edric, yung misis ko, gifts and gifts. I don't know what it is, but whatever that is, to cherish our wife, we must speak their language, not our own. I'll say that again. To cherish our wife, we need to speak their love language. Now, Edric, hindi mahirap talaga yan eh. Well, let me tell you something. Do you love her? If you do, you will go the distance to show her. Alright, you know what? I want you to know I love you. I will spend more time with you. Are you with me? Alright, gentlemen? This is for the idea of building relationships. Now, let's look at this idea. Men, if we build relationships, we cannot stop there. We need to bring the relationship forward. We need to bring it from here to a vision. Where is our family headed? Where are you going to bring the marriage? What is the purpose? How would you like to see your wife bloom and blossom someday? That is this idea. The second role as a head, the second idea is the idea of leadership. And this principle of leadership is my favorite principle of all time. I have heard so many ideas on leadership. In fact, I've read a number of Maxwell books. I even went to an invitation dinner with John Maxwell a few weeks ago, and I did not realize that he has written over 82 books and has sold close to 16 million books on leadership. And they have said that he is the foremost leadership guru in the world with the most articles ever written about leadership. So I said, oh, that's pretty cool. But he didn't capture this idea. And this idea is from the Standard, and it is my personal favorite. Of all leadership principles, ito na po, in my opinion, especially for men in their homes. Where do we find it? Well, I'm going to show you the verse first, but I'm going to tell you the story even as I take you through this verse. There's a guy named Harry Truman. Harry Truman was the US president around the time after World War II happened. And you can imagine that the world was a little bit unstable, yes or no? So, even as he became president, he was a poker player. He liked playing cards, and when they would play poker, if you've ever played a game of cards and poker, there's usually a dealer. And the dealer, let's say the dealer is, what's your name, sir? Randy. Jason. Jason? I asked you already, right? Randy and Jason. So Randy, Jason, we were playing cards. Jason is the dealer. He has a token, and it's a silver dollar, which they used in that game. And the silver dollar, the token was called a buck, which is where they got $5, $10. So Jason is dealing, Randy is dealing the cards. Randy is dealing, he's tired of the responsibility. He says, I don't want to deal the cards and collect and keep the pace. I will now pass the buck. He passes it to Jason. Jason now deals. Jason says, pagod na din ako, I will pass the buck. So he passes the buck to me. And the game goes on. The idea that came from that game that Harry Truman caught is the idea of passing the buck. He said in many circles, and we see this, whether it's business or government or leadership, even in our own country, the reality is when something explodes, what happens? The leaders will pass the buck. I don't want any responsibility. It's not my fault. Ibintang mo si ganyan. Hindi ako yung nagpagawa ng building na yan. Hindi yan ang presyo. Are you following me so far? So the idea is people pass the buck. So Harry Truman said, okay. I am now the most powerful man in the world. And as this type of leader, I want to make a statement. And the statement he made is my favorite principle in leadership. And it is here. This is his actual photo. He coined the phrase, the buck stops here. When we talk about the idea of leadership, being a leader as a man, the principle is the buck stops here. All the men in this room, I want you to say it with conviction. The buck stops here. 1, 2, 3. Ang ganda ng conviction ninyo. Isa pa. Gusto ko yung level ni ano kanina. Alright? 1, 2, 3. The buck later. Gutom na kayo. The buck stops here. Now, why did I show this particular verse in this idea? When we look at the standard, I found it very fascinating that when God first created the man and the woman, He said they're equal, etc., different roles. Something interesting happened. He asked them not to touch the fruit of this tree. Remember the story? And then who got the fruit first? The woman or the man? The woman got the fruit, she bites, and then she gives it to the man. You remember the story? Let's make sure we follow the story. Who bit first? So, sino unang may kasalanan? Totoo! Sino unang may kasalanan? In the story. Alright, now here's what's interesting. In the story, the woman bit first and gave it to the man. So they both bit, they're now embarrassed, they start hiding, and that's where the verse comes in. The man and his wife heard the sound of the Lord God as He was walking in the garden in the cool of the day. They hid from the Lord God among the trees of the garden. But the Lord God called to the man, "Where are you?" Here's the point of this powerful, for me, life-changing idea that is in the Bible. You know what it says? Here's a question for you. Does God know where they are?
Yes.
Why is He asking that question? Where are you? You ever ask that? What? Oh, no. He knows where they are. Why is He asking? Here is the more important question. Who is God asking the question to? And that's the point, friends. Even as God institutes the roles of the man, He's calling out to the man, sino unang kumagat? He could have said, Eve, come here. Why did you bite first, Iha? He didn't do that. He called out to the man. He said, Adam, where are you? If I was to paraphrase what God is saying, in this standard, He's saying, gentlemen, the buck stops with you. Whatever happens in your relationship, in your family, even in the organizations you're involved in, maybe even leading in the departments, the buck stops with you. That is true leadership. The buck stops there. So let's ask the question, are you a leader who's able to say the buck stops here? When we ask the question, it is no longer distinguished. It's now both, single and married. You can ask the same question. Number one, and this is a big one, and this is one of my favorite money principles, even as I travel through the country and other parts and talk about money and how to handle it. Many people go about their life with this same problem, whether it's money or life in general. They don't have clear goals. Think about your graduation. I had batchmates in the graduation. Someday I want to be my own lawyer, have my own firm. Someday I will have my own business. Someday I'll set up my own bank. Someday I'll have children, family, wife, one wife, just to be clear. Someday. Nag-reunion kami. Baka kayo nag-reunion na rin kayo. Pagdating ng reunion, may mga classmates kayo na someday pa rin. Right? Why? The goals are not clear. It's an idea. You need, gentlemen, to have a plan. So, that is the first question. As a leader, do you have a plan? If you are married, where is your family headed? What are the goals you have for your family, for yourself, for your wife, for your children? Even in education, I was introduced earlier as a homeschooler, a champion in that industry and in that area. And we ask the question of all parents, what is your goal for your children? Because whatever the goal is will dictate the way you educate your child. Does that make sense? You need to have a plan. And these 3 M's for men are very simple. When you create a plan, you ask the 3 most important questions ever. These are the 3 most important questions of men and even of women. But for men, here it is. Master, mission, mate. Who or what will I follow for the rest of my life? Is it Michael Jordan? Gusto ko maging basketball player. Is it Alan Greenspan, the central bank, Federal Reserve chairman? I want to be a banker who will go in that direction. Is it tycoon like Donald Trump? Who or what is your master? Second M, if that is your master, what is your mission as you pursue that master? And then third, in that order, if you figured out your master, who or what you will follow, mission, what I will do as I pursue that. Then you can say, third, who's going to run towards that master in this same type of mission right alongside me. That is the main. Are you with me? Have a plan, gentlemen. Do you know who your master is? Or what it is? Maybe some of you have an idea. Clarify that. As you do that, now have a path, a plan. Alright, this is the mission. 5, 10 years, pursue this, climb the ranks, set up my own bank to compete with security bank. Just kidding. So that plan, and then you can think about me. Do you have a plan? Women will be drawn to a man with a plan. Yes or no, women?
Yes.
So if you're a single man and you don't have a plan man. If you're a married man and you don't have a plan man. Set it up. Figure out, no. I've been married for 5, 10, 20 years, I don't really know. And maybe some of you, like some of our guests, unfortunately, are climbing or pursuing the wrong path. They will look back and say, you know what, 30 years of my life, Dito, I really should have been doing this. And there's no time left to change that. Don't be that person. Have a plan. Next, if you have a plan, are you pursuing it? And then if you are pursuing it, if you're not able to, and there are bumps along the road, do you take initiative to resolve things? And this is very important because the idea of buck stopper means, kung may problema, aayusin ko to. I will find a way. Take initiative to resolve things. Even in the team I lead, when there are problems and people don't take initiative, we have problems. But those who do, they excel. So that is the idea. Do you take initiative to resolve things? For example, in marriage, one of the favorite examples I like to give is in marriage. I will give the example later. I saw a cue from my wife. We're trying to sync our time here, okay? Give example later.